Hey guys, this is Russ, and this is She Wolf Alchemy, and we're doing our interviews. I know we said we were going to start it last year, but last year was a trip, man. Last year was a trip. So today I am talking to someone you guys already know, my co-host Nique, and we're talking about what happens when your happily ever dies in real time. Now, look, there are some stories that don't fit into neat little boxes that we like to put grief in. This isn't necessarily a breakup story. It's a story about finding the love of your life and then losing him before life even really began. Today's episode is personal, not just because the topic is heavy, but because the woman telling the story is one of my closest friends. I watched this happen in real time. I watched her fall in love. I was there with her when she was pregnant. I watched her get engaged. I watched her plan a wedding. Hell, we went wedding dress shopping together. I watched her plan to make a move and I watched her believe she had finally found her forever. And then I watched when everything changed. This conversation isn't about death. It's about the kind of grief that people don't know how to sit with. The kind where you're not just mourning a person, but you're mourning the future you already chose. The house where you were going to live, the wedding you were planning, the version of motherhood you thought you were stepping into. She became a mother and essentially a widow in the same season. And we don't talk about enough is how complicated that type of grief is. The depression that lingers longer than people are comfortable with. The pressure to move on because, you're still young, but the guilt when you laugh again, the fear of loving again, the identity shift that happens when the life that you are building disappears and you did nothing wrong to lose it. So, yeah, this isn't about to be a polished, I overcame and everything's fine conversation. This is about shadow parts, about what it's like to love someone who's dying, about what it's like to build a relationship with his family without him, about raising a child who will know her father mostly through stories, about learning to trust again when you already lost it once. So, if you ever lost a person or you felt like you built a future and it just got taken away, you had to rebuild your identity after something shattered your plans, this episode is for you. So, with that being said, let's get into it. Now, first, let's just start off because me and you have hinted about this. We have kind of told some parts when me and you have normally done episodes about your story, but I don't think you ever like really sat down and kind of fully told your story about you,
hmm
late fiance, Zay. Um, why don't you just kind of tell us your story in a nutshell?
Okay. Actually, we met when I believe I was around 27. In 2016 was like, it was a bomb year for me. It was a bomb year for me.
Yeah.
Honestly, at that time before I met him, I was dating. I was dating, trying to figure out, but I really was like, this is it. This isn't for me. I'm ever going to find my person.
Mm.
What does it look like for me? It was like a lot. It was a lot. I wasn't really wilding, but I didn't really think it was something that I could find. So I just didn't really put a lot of effort into it. But here comes 2 days after New Year's. I went out to celebrate my little cousin's birthday. I'm always the planner in my family with my little cousins. I'm like the mama hen to everybody. So I planned a party for her. We said we're gonna go get a hotel. We're gonna have a night on the town. And so that's what we did. And so I checked in the hotel, and then I seen this guy that just like kept looking at me like, what was this guy? Like he just kept looking at me. So he was walking, I was walking, I made contact. I tried to break the eye contact, but then we both turned around and looked at each other at the same time. And so I was like, I hope I see him again. So the next time I did see him was at the club. We went to the club with my sister and my cousin and her friend. And then we ran into him in the stairway. And my sister thought he worked there. So she was like, "You gonna let us in for free?" I was like, "I don't think he really works here." So he was like the shy one to the side. I was the shy one to the side. But somehow he came over there and asked me, "Do I want a drink?" The rest was history. Like we talked all night. That after we left the club, we went to Waffle House and we talked to like 3 in the morning. And I was like, I don't know who this person is, but I want him to stay in my life. I didn't like say I wanted to be with him or anything. I was like, I want him to stay in my life for the long term from the first day I seen him. And later on, he would say the same thing. So we continued talking. He was there to see his friend play in the bingos, and I was there for the birthday celebration. But then I would go to I always stayed in Georgia. So anytime I was in Georgia, I would always see him. And it just kept building and building and building. And he was outside of my normal. He was outside of my normal because, I didn't want to talk to nobody with no kids.
Well, not only that, I remember you telling me about him, and he was like, Russ. And I'm like, what? And I'm thinking you about to tell me something serious. You're like, he bald. I'm like, okay. You're like, I don't really date bald men. I was like, well, apparently you do. Apparently we do.
No, that was different too. It was like, he bald head. He bald head. I don't know if got a bald head. He was my type every other way, but it was like, hey, bald head. But so I tried to fight it as long as I could, but like then my aunt had passed around March, and we found out our birthdays. Oh, that's the thing. When I first met him, he said he was a Pisces. I said, oh, you a crazy Pisces too? Hey, he was like, yeah, my birthday is March the 15th. I said, you lying. You lying. How was your birthday the day after mine? You lying. He was like, no, what I got to lie for? And so I was like, something is in here that I feel like I got to keep talking to him. But I was trying to fight it. I was trying to fight it with my heart. It's like, no, I'm not going to talk to him. And so, yeah, I came down from my aunt's funeral, and it was our birthday month. And he was like, I'm going to come out there and come and hang with you and your family. I told my sister, like, excuse me, this man's trying to hang with us. I'm not even going to talk to him when I see him, girl.
Yeah.
He left his friends. I left my family. Nobody know. All his friends came down to celebrate with him. He never seen them again after that. So, yeah, I tried to fight it. He tried to fight it, but it continued to go. It kind of elevated fast because I met him January. I was pregnant by October, but I didn't see anything wrong with it. Like, I felt like by July, I knew that was my person. Like, I knew that was my person. I knew I wanted him in my life. He was like the boy version of me. I wanted to continue to go. Like, when I found out I was pregnant, I was sad, but low key, like, I was a little bit happy.
Yeah.
I wanted a life with him. I see how he raised his children. I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted him to raise my child too, our child too. It was like something I prayed for. And it was right before, like when you're getting closer to 30, you want this big magical thing. And it was like, I'm getting closer. I'm getting everything I want. Everything I want. And he's everything I need. Like, he took care of me. I showed him what true love could be. And he showed me at the same time. We were learning together. And I don't think either of us was prepared for everything to come or to fall in love so fast. But it was fast. And it was no stopping it. Like, yeah. And we traveled together. We learned each other. We didn't really intertwine our families. We were really just focused more on us. But he showed me so much. He taught me so much. And I did the same for him. And I could say, like, yeah, I knew, like, this is something I had never felt before.
Yeah. No, I remember when you guys met, I really, really liked him. I would come over to his house to pick you up, and it felt like y'all had kind of like integrated into a family already. Like, you was real comfortable. I was real comfortable there. I was coming in, taking my shoes off, chill on the couch. I'd be like, hey, Xavier. And he'd be like, about to run out to go do something. And like, hey, y'all good? You need me to get you something? I'm like, no. I'm going to go take her. We're going to go get all the things. It's fine. And yeah, I'm with you. It did kind of feel like it moved fast in a sense, but also it felt very, very natural. But being around you guys together as a couple, like, literally, when you were telling me, like, I think this is what I'm like, oh yeah, that's my brother-in-law. Like, I already know. Yeah, because this works. It fits so easily.
He used to always say that, like, call her and tell her to come over. Each time I was down there, like, call her, you need to have some time with your friends. And that's the thing that I like the most. He noticed that I was, because I always been like a superwoman, even before I had a kid. Yeah. It's like, I have to take care of everything. I have to do so much stuff. And he allowed me to be like, no, we're taking that cape off. Like, we're going to do this. And like, we both were like, religious. We were Christians or whatever. So he'll like, help me to talk down or pray for me or talk me through everything. And I just never had that. I never
Mm.
had that. And even from the beginning when he met my friends here in Dayton, he cooked for them the very first time he met them. So
Yeah.
it's like he just was doing so many things that I never thought was possible. And I was receiving it and I was reciprocating it. So it was everything I needed for sure at the time that I needed it.
Yeah. So, and Nick is going to get into this later, guys, but what ended up happening is that he previously had cancer a couple years before you had met him and went into remission. He was good. Um, and so, and then it came back. But before it went into remission, like right before we kind of found out, what did you think life was about to look like?
Yeah, before that happened, before it came back, because I
Mm.
will say when we were dating all that time, we came up to cook for my friends. We went to a concert, all that stuff. That's when I was like, okay, I want you to be my boyfriend, really my husband, but we gonna start with boyfriend. Um, when that happened, he told me that he did have cancer, but he didn't have it now. Yeah, so it was dormant at that time. But me being so young, I'm like, I didn't really think about it coming back.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, he had it, now he doesn't. We're good. I never was around anybody who really had cancer. Either they had it and they just passed right away.
Yeah.
I just never knew the process of the remission, or I never thought about it. So he was sweating, he was scared, to tell me. And I was like, well, you don't got it right now, do you? Because I mean, if you don't have it right now, we're good.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking in my head, like, this is who I want to be with for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
This is what I want to marry. I was saying I wanted to marry him before I even had a kid.
Yeah.
That's why I was so open to have it, because I'm like, I'm gonna be with him forever anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
This is the life we're gonna share. I was gonna move to Georgia. I was gonna build my family there. We even had business plans to start businesses. Like we were planning the life. Like that's what my life was looking like. I was going to be a stepmom. I love his children. To this day, I still love his children. Like I was, and I never wanted to be a stepmom. Like he opened my eyes to things that I never thought I would want to do. I never wanted to be a stepmom. I'll be honest.
Mm.
But he opened my eyes to be like, you can do this. And yeah, he opened my eyes to so much. And that's what I was looking forward to.
Yeah. Now, let me ask, before he told you, did you have any hints along the way? Because um it was a shock to you. I remember even me finding out, and like I know for me, a couple things like connected. Like I still remember like you had came down for my graduation and we had to pick him up for a hospital visit. And I remember being like, why we gotta pick him up for the hospital? And not in a me way, but me being like, wait, what was going on with him that he's at the hospital and we gotta pick him up because he can't drive? And kind of like brushing it off, like, oh, okay, well, if it's something big, we would know. That's kind of
Mhm.
how it came out to me. Can you talk about the process of like, did you have hits and then actually finding out like, oh no, not only is it back, like it's back in full aggression.
I had no hints. I had no idea. And I think it was because I just trusted what he said was true. And I was also pregnant. So it's just like I don't have time to think about that. I was trying to figure out where I was gonna live. It wasn't like it wasn't important, but he didn't bring it to my forefront at all for real. Like
Mhm.
I'm thinking remission, so maybe he still have to get treatments because he's in remission to keep it away. That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. Like I didn't think that it was like coming back. And in the midst of like, okay, this is how we met, and then like what I think my life was gonna be like by that time, by like I wanted to be with him in July of 2026. By July of 2000, sorry, I want to be with him July 2016. By July 2017, I was engaged. I was having
Yeah.
what I wanted.
Yeah.
The following year, I said it in July 4th, like weekend, I'm gonna be with you. By the following year, I was with him. We were engaged, and I was pregnant. So it
Yeah.
was just like all of those things happened. So I don't think I was taking the time to think. But when I think back about it, after I had my baby, he threw up right after. And he threw up. I think he was nervous.
Yeah.
No, he was sick.
Yeah.
Like he was up here, we had to walk because he helped me walk. We was trying to walk my baby out. So he was walking all these stores, all these not stores, all these parks, trying to walk my baby out. He was doing it. And this man, this is when it already came back. He just didn't tell me. And then I think back about it, like we had to stop at the drugstore for him to get some blood thinners. Why you had to get blood thinners? He was having blood clots. And he was walking around with me and he was not telling me. Like, and and I'm not mad about it. I am like, it makes me love him, it makes me loved him more because it's just like he still put me and his baby first. Like through everything he went through, he still put us first. But I didn't think about it until afterwards. But in the moment, no inkling of it at all. I thought we were good. Like you know what? He did used to cough a lot at night. And I was like, you need to probably go to the doctor because I think something came back. He went to the doctor. They told it came back. He told me it didn't because he never wanted me to worry. And I know it was a lie and I could have been mad, but I wasn't because everybody knows I'm an anxious lady. And when I was pregnant, I was super anxious. So he knew he needed to protect us. And that was still the man that I needed that protected me and my baby at all costs. So, but in a moment, I did not have any, didn't think of it, but like thinking back on it, yeah, it was signs that I just didn't really pay attention to.
So when did you find out that the cancer had came back?
I had my baby in July. He told me in October. And I remember I was just pumping. Then he was like, can you sit down and talk to you? And I'm like, what you gotta talk to me about? Like, I couldn't think of anything he had to talk to me about because I didn't know it was back.
Yeah.
And then he told me, but I still didn't ask all the questions. Like, I didn't ask what stage. I was just like, so we're gonna fight this, right? And then he said, yeah, but we're going to get all the doctor's appointments and seeing what we can do and figuring it out. But I didn't ask the right questions. I just said, okay. And that's really all I think I said. And then I left. Like I said, well, let me go get some food for the kids. I don't know. It's like, I think I always was in survival mode and I didn't really know it.
Yeah.
Cause I called my mom and I told her like, the cancer is back. I feel so bad for baby Journey. I didn't even say nothing about me.
Yeah.
So I feel so bad for my little baby Journey. And then she's not going to be able to, I said it then. I remember now. I said she might not be able to have her dad. I remember telling my mom that. Then I was like, but I gotta get off the phone. I gotta go grocery shopping. That's literally all I said. Then went into the grocery store, got the groceries, came back, cooked for the kids. They ate. He was so weak. He was weak at that time. I'm like, why you didn't notice he was weak? Like, sis, what? Because I never I was a new mom. Like, you don't pay attention to all of that.
You were tired, you were exhausted, you were a new mom. Also, you were in the middle of like moving your life because you were still in Ohio at that time. That was the time we were still like, I was still sending you jobs on like a daily basis. We were talking about like, okay, you can do this because licensure is different and like you were having a lot of chaos at your job.
A lot and no support. I didn't have any support there at all. Little support. So it was like a lot of back and forth. So I don't think I ever had time to process it the proper way. Because I always think back on it. Like that time when he said it, you should have said, okay, what stage? Because right then I could have just said, okay, I'm staying here. I'm staying here till the end.
Yeah.
But I don't think I wanted to step there. I don't think I wanted to know. I don't think I wanted to know. Even my friend always asked me, she was like, she was a nurse assistant and she was a nurse. And she was like, asking like, do you know what stage? Do you know what stage? Do you know what stage? I was like, no, I'll ask tomorrow. Just how I do everything else. But every other relationship, you know how I always don't want to have the big talk, so I just never have them.
Yeah.
That was a talk I should have had, but I just didn't, like I just didn't. I never asked.
Yeah.
I never asked at all, like, what stage, and I always think back, like, you should just ask. And I allow the outside noise of like my family, my parents, and everything else. And in my heart of hearts, I should have just stayed and stuck it out until ride it out to the end. Because if I knew it was such a short time, I would have just stayed.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. I didn't ask the right questions. And I think I was just on autopilot, like not thinking he was ever going to leave. I just thought he was going to be here forever, regardless of what he just told me.
Yeah. So, I mean, at the time, did you feel protected, betrayed, both?
I'm I think a little bit. I didn't feel protected at all.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I was told minimal things
Yeah.
from everybody. So it made me feel like if I knew, I would have moved differently, which I understand. I understand from a parent's point of view, and how I said earlier that we didn't really involve our families.
Mm.
Like, even though my family didn't know him, they still was like, okay, we're here. And they loved him. Like, they really did love him. I'm not saying his family didn't love me, but they probably was still skeptical
Yeah.
because he did have cancer. So they just didn't really know how to embrace it. And I don't blame them. I don't. But it just made it harder for me because I could not make any decisions because even though I was a fiance, I was still, in their eyes, probably just a girlfriend
Yeah.
because they didn't really get the chance to really get to know me because we never, like, I met them early, but we didn't have the time to do the work because everything was going so fast.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I didn't feel protected at all. Or I'm not gonna say I didn't feel all the way protected, and I felt supported in some ways,
Yeah.
but it was still like the gray area because it was so new.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I do think kind of like you said, because you didn't know until so long, his parents probably knew for a while. So for them, it might be like, bro, we got other things to worry about. Like, I'm not really,
That girl,
that's
yeah.
their baby, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I understand that because,
Yeah.
like, if that was a shoes and it was this man, I'm just worried about my child. That's
Yeah.
who I'm worried about. And I mean, even my granddaughter would be an extension of them, but that woman, it's like, I get it, I get it, I get it. But it was still hard, and I feel like I would have made different decisions if I was notified of more things.
Yeah. Well, so let me ask, when do you feel like you realized this might not end the way you thought? Because there was moments because you guys had previously got engaged before you knew. You didn't know. Like when you guys got engaged, you had no idea
Mm-mm.
it had returned. And then there was times where like you had started wedding dress shopping. We had started like looking at like, hey, this is the type of wedding I want. This is the things I need. When did you realize like there was a moment like, oh wait, we might not make it down the aisle. We might not make it there.
I will say, like, the whole time he was sick, I'm just thinking that it's gonna pass. This too
Yeah.
shall pass. I was just thinking that, like, the whole time until, I'm gonna be honest, the night before he passed away.
Yeah.
I started to ask. I sat down with mom and I was like, so what's the name of the cancer again?
Mhm.
I looked it up. Researched it in a matter of like 30 minutes. I was like, he's about to pass soon. I didn't say it out loud. I just said it to myself, like,
Yeah.
damn, about to pass soon. And I don't know. It's like I believe in God. So it's just like something told me it's coming. Like, it's
Yeah.
like my heart was settled and it was like I got the message.
Yeah.
And literally the next day it happened.
Yeah.
The next day. So that's always my regret, is the fact that, going back to the questions I should have asked, I just wish. I still think about that some days. Like, I should have just stayed there. Should have laid in that bed. I should stay there. Like, his mom and dad, his mom would have moved in anyway, so she could have helped us with the baby. I could have just went back to where I know, doing home health care. Like, you had
Yeah.
those what ifs. You had those shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Like, if anything, like, took more pictures, like, did more family stuff, like, I just always feel guilty for keep on going back and forth, where I was like, I should have just stayed, especially when I found out, like, it was like everything just flashed in front of me, like, damn, I'm not gonna get any of those things no more.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna see this person no more that I love so much.
Yeah.
Like, when I say that he told me that I have done so much for him that nobody else had done, and for him to cry and say those things to me, and
Mhm.
for me to be like, I never been loved like this before, and now I'm not gonna be able to have it forever. It literally was like life flashed in front of my eyes before it flashed in front of my eyes the next day.
Yeah.
But I didn't have time to process that. I didn't have time to process that at all. But yeah, that's the moment. Even when they called and told me he was on hospice, I'm like, he's gonna get off of hospice. Like,
Yeah.
his mom called me at work and told me, and then I had to drive home and I was crying. Somebody had to come pick me up because I couldn't even drive.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, because I was like, keep going back and forth, keep going back and forth. But he was so strong between all. He never wanted me to be sad. He never wanted me to be sad. Ever. He was calling in emergency room. I mean, in a ambulance. I'm going to the hospital. I got blood clots. They're rushing me to the hospital. I'm like, are you okay? And then, I mean, I always come the next day. And then his mom called me and said he's on hospice. I'm like, how did it elevate this fast? So that even going back to like the protection, like that I didn't feel protected. Like, I don't know. Like, I understand because it's a sticky situation, but it's just like, I just wish they would just utterly blunt with me so I can make the right decisions instead of like sugarcoating. Just tell me the truth and let me decide. And if you don't give me the choice to decide, I'm going to be mad. And so some parts I was mad. Like, I wish I would have just known. To prepare myself. And you can't really prepare yourself for that. But my preparing would be go get professional pictures with me, with his children, with my daughter, so they can have these things to cherish. I would do more. Like, I would make sure we was happy. Like, you know, have the memories that I wanted to have. And I wouldn't be going back and forth. I wouldn't care about no money. Whatever happened and would have just happened. Because for real, everything figures itself out anyways. So yeah, my focus would have been different. Our priorities would have been different.
Well, and again, I think also, like you said, I also remember like there being a belief like, oh, he's gonna make it. Like up until like you said, the last week, I was there. I don't remember how many days, but it was a couple days before because you were visiting. Your sister was there. Was your sister? Your sister the one who called me and told me. But was she there during that time?
No, she actually just came to pick me up when it happened.
Okay. Okay, because she had gave me a call. But I remember up until like there was a time that he was in hospice, he was in the bed, and his best friend was there. And I remember him like making jokes with us in the bed. Like I remember him still like, because I kind of wanted to keep away because I did not know how to react. I did not. I came one time when his mom was there and then his best friend was there, and his mom and them. And I remember sitting on the couch and like not wanting to look at him. And I remember just like being like, oh my gosh, this is very, very serious and intense. And him being like, come over here. And I came over and he was trying to talk to me and I just did not know what to say back. But I remember him and his the light skinned dude, like we're still making jokes.
He was still cutting his hair. They were still talking about plans. And that's why sometimes I'm like, damn, can it ever get any better? Because everybody that knows him knows the person he was.
Yeah.
And it was like, and this is my person. Like, he ain't nobody else. Like, this is my person. Like, and all the people, he was like, when I say he was a male version of me, he was. You know? So it's just like the fact that everybody loves him, how open his heart was, how he was so giving, even at his lowest. And this is my person. You're telling me that I can't have it forever?
Yeah.
That was like the hardest part. The hardest part. And I still think I was in autopilot from the time he told me all the way till he passed. Trying to be a mom and trying to be there for him and trying to figure it out. So yeah.
So let me ask, do you feel like so he passed away in December of 2017. And again, you at the time, because you were in the middle of trying to move down there to be with him. And so now we had to halt plans. We had to figure out, okay, what does this mean for me? Because yeah, like I was planning to move my whole life. Do you feel like you even got a moment to process? Like, do you feel like, okay, he passed away, and then people allowed me space to process, taste, to take my time, to go slow, or was it something else?
I don't think I ever got that space or time to go slow. I think people didn't know how to handle me, so I don't feel like they handled me at all. Or maybe that's how I feel, but I feel like I was zombie too. I don't know really how it was presenting to other people, but because it was like an outer body experience. It's like this is like a dream. And I'm seeing myself go from day to day, but I don't really know how I'm acting. But I look back at pictures and I'm still smiling on my child. So she probably could feel it. And I feel like that's why we're so close, because I was grieving and I would love on her and she probably could feel it. But I seen pictures of me still smiling, but I just don't remember being happy. I don't even remember getting a break from her, honestly. I got some breaks. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that, because some of my friends did help and get her and give me the breaks that I need. But I don't feel like I had the space or time to do it.
Yeah.
the way I would want to do it. And maybe I didn't need to be alone. I probably didn't, but I still feel like I still needed a woosah, and I don't feel like I got the woosah because I was a new mom.
Yeah.
And I had to focus on my baby. It's like, okay, your dad passed. Great, great, great. Like, okay, I fell out at the funeral. Like, I laid out on the casket crying. Like, I'm going to scream and I'm going to miss you.
Mhm.
And that's the only time I really felt like I really was really was crying
Yeah.
the most. But after that, I sucked it up, went to the next stage, and it was like a couple of months, and I was just driving. I couldn't drive no more. Like I started having a panic attack. Like I realized he was finally gone, and
Yeah.
I called my aunt, and she kind of talked me down. And I said, I don't know if somebody got to come and get me because I can't drive no more. Like it was just a lot, and I realized it was because I held so much in,
Yeah.
and I didn't leave space for people to help me,
Mhm.
or I just because like who's gonna save me when the person that saved me is not here no more? Like
Yeah.
he definitely saved me from myself sometimes. Not like I was suicidal or anything because I wasn't, but it's the fact that I never gave myself space to breathe, gave myself
Mhm.
space to do anything. I just always was on go. Like even before a child. So just imagine grieving in a child. I'm 10 times worse, and I don't have
Yeah.
nobody to stop me from acting like what's the little thing that the speedy one that goes
Think
on the
I'm
road.
close.
Yeah, it's just popping up everywhere, just doing everything, not slowing down for nothing,
Yeah.
not slowing down to interact, not slowing down to. I don't even remember. It's so crazy. I don't even remember any of that stuff for real. I don't
Yeah.
remember interactions with people. I know I had them,
Yeah.
but I don't remember them.
No, there's been a couple times over the years where I have brought up different things around that time, and you're like, "What? Girl,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know
like
nothing
real
what's on that
amnesia.
era." Yeah.
Yeah. And I know it has to do with trauma.
Yeah.
And I know it has to do with grief, trauma brain. It's
Mhm.
like, I don't remember any of it for real. And sometimes, and I feel bad because sometimes I don't remember the first with my daughter,
Yeah.
but she wasn't, from looking from pictures, she wasn't lacking. She
Yeah.
looked always happy. She was a whiny, moody baby, but
Mhm.
she looked happy and I was happy and I was smiling and happy when I was with her. But I don't remember some of those pictures, I don't remember them. And that's the crazy part. Yeah, that is the crazy part. So I don't know if I really had the space to gather. I did seek therapy,
Yeah.
but only therapy that really helped was the grief therapy. And I think the only reason that helped is because I had the space to talk about him.
Yeah.
And I just love to talk about him. That was the only way I could keep his memory and keep his memory up is talking about him.
Yeah. I
Um,
remember you saying the grief group was like that was
yeah.
the thing that really helped.
That was the biggest thing that helped because I just had the space to do it. Like regular therapy didn't really help. And I didn't like my regular therapist. She was trying to tell me to take my ring off and stuff. I'm like, you don't have a place to tell me that. Like
Yeah.
it was just a lot. Like let me grieve in the way I want to grieve and let me process this the way I want to process. I know I'm here, but the grief therapist helped me way better than a normal therapist. And that was my outlet that I had. And I will say my family helped me to have that outlet. They made sure that they watched her every time I had a grief counseling session.
Yeah.
So that was the only time I really felt safe and comfortable and open to talk about my grief around it.
Yeah. Well, so then let's talk a little bit about the parts that people don't really understand because I know me and you have talked about this, but like almost like feeling like sometimes in your life there has been a push for people to be like, okay, now it's been this long. You supposed to be okay
Mhm.
now. When did it feel like people started to expect you to be okay, to be like done with your grief?
Uh, so probably like at the like 4 year
Yeah.
mark, our friend told me like your grief is maybe stopping you from moving on to other options.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but I just want to say F you. Like,
Yeah.
like, girl, just don't do that. Don't do it. Um, but honestly, sometimes I didn't feel safe about I just wanted to talk about him all the time.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that people really want to hear about it.
Mhm.
And it made it kind of awkward for me and for them. So it wasn't really said like get over it,
Yeah.
but it's just like people will look like, like they probably don't really want to hear about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, even like 4 years ago, it was still like, okay, are we done now? Not are we done now, but that's how it kind of felt.
Yeah.
Or when I would get sad all the time, people didn't give me the grace to be sad, or it seems like a here she go again type of situation
Yeah.
rather than an understanding situation. And I don't think people understand that that's a part of you now. Like those sometimes grief becomes a part of you. Like we still continue to live, we still continue to thrive, we still continue to grow, but you're never the same person before this incident happened. You will never be the same person. I will never be the same person. I don't feel like I even got my light or my brightness back until um 23. And that was the first time I didn't feel as sad as I did the years before. That was the first time I smiled and was like, oh, the old me is coming back, the bubbly personality, the carefree personality. I wasn't carefree as much as I used to. I was guarded. I was sad. I was just not myself, the person that I remember before this loss. So it was just like nobody really knew like the stuff that I was going. People seen it, people were sad. I think my mom just wanted to probably take it away from me, like take all the pain away from me because I could see how sad it was her. And I'm like, I want her to be okay, even though I'm trying to be okay. I
Yeah.
don't want her to be sad for me, but I just seen how much she hurt from me. And it's nothing I can do about it. And again, I was always the person that wants to take that stuff away. That was just me. And I had somebody else who was taking it from me, but it's just like, he's not here. So how do I process this? So yeah.
Well, but talk to us a little bit about what that grief looked like years later. So, because we kind of know what grief can look like right after something happens.
Mhm.
You said when baby girl was around 4, that's when it's kind of like, okay, girl, you good? Hey.
Yeah.
What did it look like when it's like, yep, I get it, guys. It's been 4 years, but I'm still like, what was your grief like during that period?
I think it was just random. It
Yeah.
was random. It was never consistent. It was continuously like around December, I always get sad and I can't really beat it. I remember the first December after he passed, like I was a horrible, like I just didn't want to be around people.
Yeah.
It definitely looked like me not wanting to get out of bed and definitely looked like not wanting to be a mom and starting to sometimes ask for help just so I can cry, just to get her out of my house so I can cry.
Yeah.
Let me just breathe. Like, and are the day of the anniversary, I did have somebody always get her out of my hands because I just wanted to be in a moment,
Yeah.
think about him and reminisce for a couple of hours without her being around. So that's what it looked like. It always looked like me being sad around December, from October to December. It's like I had to prepare myself. And literally last year was probably the first time I really did it. But December hit, I kind of came back. But usually it starts in October. So it didn't really happen to like the mid to end December. But usually from October to December, it's a hit or miss with me.
Yeah.
It's a hit or miss with me. And I know it's coming. I know I'm about to grieve. I know I'm about to be sad. So I kind of prepare myself because I just don't want to be around people. I just don't want to do things because December is when he passed. So it's just like my body knew it was coming and it prepared it and then it just shut down and it's me. So sometimes I didn't want to be around each other to protect people from the person I was at that time. So it was very hard. It just looked like sad all the time through those 3 months. And some people was able to accept it, some people was able to help, but then other people wasn't. So it's just like then I'm like trying to hold up this strong face and I really don't want to because I really am sad around this time and it's hard for me to process it or hard for me to even sometimes get out of bed and do what I have to do because it's like everything is flashbacks for real of everything that happened.
Well, and then also like speaking of like doing all the things you have to do while you're still grieving, having those flashbacks. What is that like also raising a child that has questions, raising a child that, because I know for you, one of the things that happened, let me know if you want me to cut this out, with Journey is one, Journey, like she got a teddy bear with his voice in it. She had got that Build-A-Bear, she can squeeze it, because it had his voice in it, right?
Hmm.
And then sometimes I know you were like, girl, I swear I'm walking past a room and she's talking to somebody. I swear
Yeah.
I'm looking up. And I know like she would like talk to you about her dad. Because again, none of this is something you expect out of your motherhood journey.
No, and that was hard. And she would when she was younger, she definitely would talk to him. She'll
Mhm.
cry and say, "Daddy, daddy, daddy, daddy,"
Mhm.
and I'm like, "Where's daddy?" Or she'll like, "Dad, dad." And she'll smile and talk to him. I know she was talking to that man. I
Yeah.
know it. And I just that would for me that would make me feel okay.
Mhm.
But then like sometimes she would just and it was me that got the bear for her because I wanted her to be able to hear, have something to hold when she thinks about him. But then she would be touching it continuously, touching it continuously. Then we had to process when she got a little bit older, like preschool, how everybody can have Father's Day and she can't. And then that made her sad. And then for me to have to process a 3-year-old grieving somebody that she didn't really see because he passed when she was 5 months.
Yeah.
Then I had to be strong for her because she didn't understand it, but seeing her sad was breaking me down too. And I didn't know what to say or what to do to try to be there for her. So it was like, and it was times she would ask me about him and I would answer, but then I would go in my room, close my door, and just cry all night because it's like, I don't know how to answer this. And I'm sad for her. Like, I can find love again. I can move on again. But I had my dad. I still got my daddy. And it's
Yeah.
just like, I know how it feels. She would have had the same type of dad I had.
Yeah.
So for her not to have it, it just really hurts my heart. You know, like, I can't protect her from this. I can't take that pain away from her, but I'm still grieving too. So it's like I'm gonna help her out for this second. But all of that was like making it like I'll be okay having a great day, and then she'll say something about him. And then every time when it's his birthday, he would get moody, but it would make it worse for me because it's also my birthday.
Yeah.
So it was like I'm having a good day on my birthday, and then the next day I have to process. And she would just have such a bad attitude. And it's like, I understand, but it was just a lot to process. It was a lot to have to handle. And sometimes I just didn't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
And she was just so angry and so mad. And I didn't know how to calm her down in these moments. And again, it's just like, that was my man too, sis. I understand. I understand, but I just don't know how to help you sometimes. Yeah.
And one of the things I will say though is you did have like a lot of loving support step up in your life when it comes to her. I know like your dad really steps up
Hmm.
for her and so forth. And I think that has been great, even with the way that you try to make sure she's still connected to her siblings. I have always told you, I think you do such an amazing job at being like, okay, his family is still our family. And like y'all live in different states. And you are like, okay,
Hmm.
let's figure out when we're gonna go see them. Have you called grandpa, grandma? Like, you
Yeah.
really try to make it work.
Hmm. Yeah, that is big for me too. Like, cause I grew up in a close knit family, and he was also close knit with his family as well.
Mhm.
So it's like something I knew if he was here, that she would be doing.
Yeah,
So I try to like continue to keep that going, even though it's hard. And like I said, I think I had to throw the olive branch or even build the bridge to connect us.
yeah,
And they were receptive. They were receptive. We have a great relationship, but it wasn't easy to do. But I do have bittersweet moments with them because it's such a great connection. Like we go, like I had went to trips with them. I went to Gallenberg, and I would go see them for Christmas. And it's just like I'm having such a great time. But just imagine if he was here too. Just imagine if he was here too. It'd be
yeah,
10 times better than this.
yeah,
And even going back to when I had her, and then I was like, I'm about to be 30. I have my man. I'm about to be in the city I always wanted to live with, and I'm having my baby girl.
yeah,
Life is great. Life is great. But then for it to be taken away, it's just like it's always a reminder sometimes that life can change at the drop of a dime. So anytime when I'm with them, I love being around them, but sometimes it's bittersweet, and I have to process my feelings afterwards.
yeah,
And I seem to always cry afterwards.
yeah,
And I think I'm okay, but it's just like I need nobody talking to me, nobody touching me, because my baby is always the one up under me. I
mhm,
need space away from her, and I
mhm,
just need to process. I just need to cry. I just
yeah,
need to let it out and then move on. But I always know it's coming because it's a bittersweet moment. It's like always a reminder that you almost had it, but you didn't.
yeah,
You almost had it, but you didn't, sis. Like, and everybody, and I sometimes I see it in say his dad's eyes, or
mhm,
I see it in his son's eyes. Like we all have these thoughts, and it's just like, but we're just gonna love on each other, and we get it, but it's still hard to
yeah,
go through because he definitely was a glue to the family. Yeah, and I'm trying to be that, but it's just like I gotta do my best. But yeah,
no,
yeah,
you do an excellent job. Well,
yeah.
so this year will be year 9. are you in a space where you're believing in love for yourself again? Like, are you in a space where you're like, okay, I think I can have my happily ever again?
Hmm. I am. And I will say, I think that I have tried in the past, but I thought I was okay, but my actions or the way I was coming off maybe wasn't presenting that.
Yeah,
And it took me some time to understand that.
yeah,
Like, I'm not gonna leave with my story, even though my story is a part of me. I don't want grief around it. Like,
mhm,
I have processed it. I am good. Like 3 years ago, I was good. I'm still gonna have my moments, of course. That's just life. But I just want to be accepted to know that I'm good. Like I tell my story and then everybody, oh, she's so sad. I'm so sad for her. I had somebody say they feel like they're taking another man's woman. Like that man's woman, that was a good man. I feel like I'm taking him for you. But is he here? Like it's just like I feel like I'm trying to move on, but they don't receive that I have. So
yeah,
it's like a challenge. Not because I'm good or not because I'm ready. I sometimes feel like maybe I was presenting that I wasn't, and I didn't really understand it first until I stepped back and like, was you talking about them too much? But I feel like whoever the person is going to give me that space to talk about it
yeah,
and to understand. Sometimes I'm going to be sad, but it's not a competition. And I want them to feel reassured, but I guess it's gonna take like a good man to understand it. And I have found some, but it's just like I'm not with anybody. So it's
mhm,
just like, did they really understand it or did they not? But me personally, I feel like I am ready. I felt like I was ready, but I think sometimes I was presenting like, Miss Fish, you're not ready. Just like with y'all, like I was good. And then y'all was like, no, you were not good for a long time. And I was
yeah,
like, but I was good though. You wasn't, Johnny. I'm not gonna argue with you. Like, so I had to like, but I need somebody who's open, just as open as I am, to tell me like this is making me feel some type, not like making me feel some type of way. Because you tell me that my grief is making you feel some type of way, I will leave. But
yeah,
I'm just saying, like, just be open to talk about it so we can have an open conversation about it so we both can grow and see what helps us both. But I have to have the special person. It has to be a special formula. It has to be really open to understand because I think even like losing him makes me appreciate great men even more. Like I want to do more for my person, but it's like limited because I'm not given that opportunity. But I think I'm ready to explore that and to give. Like I learned so much from him. Like even though he was such a great man. Sometimes I feel like some stuff I could have done more. I was a spoiled brat in some of the parts, but I definitely took care of him to the end, like all the way up to the end. I helped to watch him. I prayed for him. I was like, I was there. I was there. But I'm
yeah,
saying like in his healthy times, I was a brat. And I was like, sometimes I think back, like, girl, you could have did more for that man. What are you doing for these little knuckleheads now? So I'm like, kind of like, just be more open to be the woman that I could have been for him or to somebody that deserves it. But I
yeah.
am open, but I'm just waiting to see who actually deserves it. And I may come off guarded sometimes. So it's a process. And I think it's gonna take a special person to like really understand and be open to do the work with me.
Well, and that's what I was gonna ask. So, like, as you talked about, you may come off guarded, like, because do you think you've changed how you attach? And me and you have talked about this, and you hinted about this in the episodes of like, I used to be very carefree. You're still a carefree person. Lord knows you do things that get on my nerves. And I'm like, let's think about the consequences. Let's talk about repercussions. Let's think about what can happen after this. So you're still
I don't
very
feel like I'm as carefree as I was before. I
I
don't.
agree. I agree.
So like, and I don't know if I'm thinking about it because of my kid
Mhm.
or am I thinking about it because life is too short? I don't
Well,
know.
well, but I mean specifically in love and specifically how you attach. Do you think there's been a difference?
Mm, attached to men?
Yeah, like how you attach when you date, when you fall in love, when you meet somebody. Has there been a change?
Yeah, if it's any type of health issues at all.
Yeah.
Like I would like I remember I was dating somebody and then he had to have a heart monitor and I'm like, why you got that heart monitor? I was in the event crying. Like I don't think I
Yeah.
can talk to you no more because you have this on you and it's just too much. Like it's just like I get really nervous about the little things before and like a lot of stuff didn't bother me, but I'm really guarded in that fact that health issues are a deal breaker. And now it's just like, if it's not working, I'm like, I'm okay. I lost the love of my life. I'm okay. So I
Yeah.
don't feel like I'm as attached
That's why
as.
that's why don't man be feeling threatening. I ain't lost love of my life. You can get on.
And I probably say that too. Like,
Not how drunk Nique is. I imagine you have said that to a Negro or two.
that's why I said, like, I have to process the way that I'm coming. And I have to feel like I tweaked it. Before, I never really evaluated myself before. I'm like, he lost one. Okay, we're deuces. We're good. We're good. You're good. But now it's like, you know what? I could have did this different. I could have came off this different. I actually evaluate myself. Even sometimes they don't deserve that me evaluating myself for them. But I evaluate myself like, could I have done more? Could I have did this? Could I have done that? Because it might come off intimidating. And sometimes I did talk about him a lot. And it was like, just like when I want to talk about it with my friends, but some guys will let me, but deep down inside, it was probably pushing me away from them. But
Yeah.
they were actually sit there and listen to me say these things and never say anything. I like it was okay, but it could have been a high chance that it wasn't okay. So, but
Yeah.
I want love. I want to love again, sirs. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. But yeah, I definitely have a deal breaker of no medical issues at all, because that's something I can't go through, and just like going with the flow of whatever happens. Not whatever happens because I'm not gonna be just sitting there forever,
Yeah.
but like just not forcing the narrative so soon. I think since my happily ever after got taken away, sometimes I might be chasing it again and chasing in the wrong ones. And so I had to ask myself, like, what does that look like? And how can you switch that up? And how can you change that? And how can you not be so guarded?
I
Yeah.
was actually listening to an old episode of ours, and you had mentioned something like that. We were talking about, I know who you were talking about. I'm not gonna say who we were talking about. I know who we were talking about. But you're like, there's a consistent thing that happens where you're like, this person kept saying, like, you just try to make it what you say. You're not listening to what I'm saying. You have this idea. And I remember us kind of like talking about this person and being like, okay, but is some of this like, you're like, okay, I already lost the love of my life. I just need to put somebody in this spot now. I just need to, I am
Yeah.
tired of the games. I'm gonna find somebody. I'm gonna just put you in a spot. You gonna chill, and I'm gonna have
Yeah.
a family.
I think that, yeah, I think a lot of guys probably
Yeah.
feel that way. And so that's why I said I was going to not even tell my story.
Yeah.
Her dad is in her life. If we get closer, then I can tell that. But I just didn't want to lead with that, because it's like you lead with that, and then when I see that, like, it's silence, like it's radio silence after I say that,
Yeah.
and then they just look at me, and then it's just like they don't know how to process it,
Yeah.
and they're trying to. But I'm okay, and I had to say, but I'm okay, and they're like, you really? I do feel like they thinking like, no, you ain't okay,
Yeah.
but I am. So it's just like I just don't want to lead with that, because it kind of like messes up things. And then sometimes I have heard that you're just trying to find a replacement. Do you really want to be with me, or are you just trying to find a replacement? Now I have to question myself: is that really what I'm doing?
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of evaluation on my part.
I will say, I think there was a point in time where you were like, okay, I guess I'm just never gonna find that again. So I need to put somebody in this spot. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
that's where you are now. I don't think that's where you were last year. I think you have had a good like 3 years
I
where I
think
feel like,
about like the last 3,
yeah,
it's a different perspective. It was definitely a different perspective, because when it first happened, I remember I just went right back to what I'm used to, like what the guys I was used to. But that didn't work because they were hurt. They were before him, so they were hurt. So
yeah.
that just didn't work. And I feel like that's when I was like, I'm about to just pick one of them, because
All you
I
guys
know
are
I can.
terrible. So anyone will do. It's fine. Y'all
Yeah.
none of you guys will ever be great. It's fine. Let me just put one of y'all on this spot and let me live my life.
Yes, it is good. And we're good. But it just didn't work that way. So it's just like, yeah, but in the last 3 years, I will say I have been operating differently.
Yeah.
I have really been getting to know what works for me, what doesn't work for me, and getting to know them, and honestly allowing them to get to know me. And I have learned so much. I have met some great guys, and I don't think any of the guys I met wasn't great. They just wasn't for me. And I
Yeah.
learned lessons within the last 3 years. I learned lessons from them. So it's like now I feel like I'm the most ready that I have been. And it's crazy because like it's like 2026.
Yeah.
And when I discovered myself the first time, it was 16.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's gonna be a mirror year. I don't know, but I do feel more at ease right now. Kind of like how I was feeling when I met him before in 2016.
Yeah. And
It took some years over here.
Year 10, we finally
Finally figured it out. I feel like I've been processing and getting stronger the last 3 years. I will say that. That's the time I noticed the last 3 years is like I haven't really felt guilt. But before then, it was times that I felt guilt. Like I'm not supposed to move on. But then it's like, no, you do, and he will want you to. He don't want you to pick none of these
No.
that you don't need to be picking. He makes that very known.
Same.
He makes that very known.
Yeah.
Yes, it's weird stuff that be happening. I don't want to talk on air, but like, yeah, I just feel like, yeah, I don't feel the guilt anymore as I did the first couple of years, and even before 2023, I did feel guilt every now and then, and more so even like around his parents or around his children. And I know they probably will. All these people want me to be happy, but I still feel guilt around it, like because I was supposed to be with him, and I want to prove that our love was real. So I'm not moving on too fast.
Yeah.
I feel like I was trying to prove that for some reason, not to me or my friends or my family, but like to his.
Yeah.
So I will say I felt guilt around that.
Yeah.
But even the conversation we recently had when I was telling you, I kind of still feel it. And that's going to be something I have to work on too. I don't know how I'm going to process that when it comes. And I was like, how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to get married when it comes. Like, even like after he passed, I had a dream that I was married, and I invited his parents to the wedding, and I said, but he will always be my special person. I held their hand and I was crying. I was like, I'm moving on. Thanks for being here. Let's just know he was always my person.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, sis, you really have guilt around them knowing that you're trying to find love again.
Yeah. Which you deserve, though.
Yeah, I do.
Frozen in time.
I do. But it took me time to honestly say, yeah, you deserve this.
Yeah. Well, so it sounds like where we are is like I have hope again. The grief, I have my moments, but now, like one of the things you had said to me recently, I think you said this to me like last week, you had watched this love movie. Y'all, let me tell y'all, the way I pick movies for Nique is just, it's their black love. Like if there's black love, if there's black people, first of all, if it's an all black cast, it don't matter how stupid, Nique is gonna want to see it. She's gonna see it and she's gonna love it. She's gonna say it's the best thing ever. But the way to really get her is let there be black love.
Yes.
Let there be black love. Also black trauma. There's also black trauma. Because every now and then now we know each other's things, but there used to be a time you're like, yes, watch this. I'm like, girl, I just spent the last 8 hours listening to the most heartbreaking stories at work. I don't wanna watch no black trauma.
And I get it.
Last week you had told me, you were telling me about this movie you watched. It was really, really good. It's Black Love. And you had mentioned to me, you had said like, also like, it just hit me. I can watch Black Love and it was like not trigger me. You were like, I saw this movie and it made me really happy. And it made me think of him and I got happy. And it like, I had no parts of sadness that came up.
And it was like, when I tell you that, I didn't even know what I was about to watch. But I think it's called Love Brooklyn. If you like black movies, check it out. But but it was like this guy she met a new guy, and he was still kind of like entertaining his ex, but it was her and her baby, and her husband died. Her late husband died in a car crash. So she was just trying to like, she wasn't even trying to build nothing for real. She had needs. And he would come over at night. And then it was parts of the baby was like, why you get to play with him all night? No, she didn't know what to do. And she was like, I want to play too. Not like that, but she was like, I want to spend time with him. And so it was just like, and then it was moments, so she would just start crying. He came over her house drunk one time. It's like situation I had. He came over her house drunk one time, and she just looked up at the moon like, the moon is beautiful. I miss my husband. Then she just started crying. And she wiped her eyes and said, well, you can come on in. And he just like, look like, this is a lot. And I got that same feeling because that's the same look I get. It's like, this is a lot. Are you sure that you're ready? But I don't think guys understand we are ready. Like, oh, God didn't put you on the earth to just love one person for the rest of your life. Like you have different people in different phases, and that's okay. But I don't think some guys recognize it as being okay. It's like, she's never gonna fully love me. I don't know why they're so competitive in that way. But it showed me like, when I said that movie was identical to my life, it showed me like, oh, that's how they be looking at me. Oh, that's how I be feeling. And then at the end, like, she broke up with him because it was too much for both of them. He didn't know how to handle the baby girl asking about her dad or saying, F you, I want my dad. You're not my dad. My dad's in heaven. You ain't my daddy. And that's how that's how my baby is too. But it ended on a good note. They just ran into each other in the park, and then they was like kind of like rebuilding it. So it like gave me hope, like this can happen. And I didn't cry. I just like was really happy. Like, this is good. And I had to look at myself. I talked to myself that night, like, girl, you didn't cry. You did too.
You sent me a whole voice text to let me know, like, girl, I watched this movie. It was about black women and a woman. She lost her husband and she loved again. It was great. I didn't cry. I was not triggered. I just need to let you know. I was like, I'm proud of you, sis. I'm happy.
Take a shot for that because
hey, let's celebrate.
this is a win. This is a win. But that's how I noticed, like, you are really growing. You are ready. You are ready. Like, the mask is off. Like, the trauma is down. Like, you're ready. Embrace it. Be open to it. And I'm trying to be way more intentional now. And because I feel like I was just like, at one time, it's just like, I just want to be healed, maybe. I just want to talk to somebody. But I'm being more intentional about it now, too. So.
No, I am so very proud of your growth, and I'm proud of the woman you've become and how you have dealt with it. Because I think when you have that type of grief, it's not just like a one-time thing; it is a reoccurring grief.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, even when you feel like you dealt with the, like, okay, I get it, he's not here, sometimes it's just little things of like, oh, this is his favorite song. We used to jam out to this song. And oh, wait, and I'm proud of you for allowing yourself to get to those cycles, because one of the reasons I asked you that question, did you think you had time to process, is because as being someone that was there with you in real time, I remember being like, what you mean you back at work? Wait, hold on. Like, what you mean moving? Like, okay, no, actually that might be a good move. And watching, like, over the last couple of years, you really being serious about, like, giving yourself that time. And not to say like you didn't do it at the beginning. I know you did your
I did.
Yeah. You did your groups though. You went to therapy, you did your groups, you tried to do your stuff. But I really feel like over the last couple of years, the last 4 years for real, just with the way you've been putting up boundaries with yourself, with the way you've been like, oh, this is a reoccurring thing. Maybe I need to sit back and think about why this is a reoccurring thing.
Yeah.
You have been really, really reflective. And I love that the outcome of that has been like a renewed sense of hope for you.
For sure. And you brought up so many things I didn't remember. I went back to work the 2 days after I buried him. Like, and then I moved out right when I turned 30 because I felt it was time.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have moved out. I should have stayed with my parents for a little while longer.
Yeah.
But it's always going back to me, just always being on autopilot, always be running to the next thing because I feel like I have to. So, but I definitely, and that's what it was too. That is how I started to process it too, by taking true solo trips. Like, that's the only time I was able to hear my thoughts, or able to sit with them, or able to cry with nobody expecting me to do anything, and learning what works for me.
You know what? I didn't realize that, but yeah, that's when your solo trip started. I did not even think about that.
Yeah. Because I think it started, because I've been here in my home for about 5 years now. This is 5 years. February 14th was 5 years. So I feel like that's around the time I don't know, was it the first trip when I went to Florida? I don't know. I think I went to Clearwater or something like that. And then I went to
Colorado.
I didn't go to that.
Was that Denver?
Asheville.
Okay.
Yeah. When I was up in the mountains and stuff like that, and that was a good trip. Like, I just realized, like, you need this time. You need to figure it out. And honestly, it was at a social work conference when this man said he'd take a solo trip every year. I was like, bro, I think I need to do that. Like, I think that's what I need for my to get this right. So yeah, and I just started to see. I started to figure out what worked for me because it's finally time to figure out what works for me. Where it's like, okay, I was grieving, then I was being a mom, and even though he wasn't here, I still lost myself in motherhood and being a wife. Even though that he wasn't here, I'm
Yeah.
still and being a widow. That's what it was. I was
Yeah.
being a widow and being a mom, but I wasn't really being me or figuring out what works for me. So yeah.
Well, but I'm glad that you came to a place where it feels like you figured it out. I think you have a really, really nice balance of keeping his memory alive, but still allowing yourself to grow into who you are and
Mm-hmm.
allow yourself to like be a Nique that's not stuck back in 2020 in 2017
Mm-hmm.
and opening back up yourself to the idea of like, okay, so love is not scary. Love is something I can have. I don't just have to put somebody there. I had a beautiful story and I can have another one again.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Nique, we appreciate you coming by and sharing your story because just like when you were talking about the movie that you saw, you were like, I saw this movie and it reminded me, like, oh, this can happen. I think when we
Mm-hmm.
share our story, it reminds other people that you can be stuck in a place and you can move on again. And there's life
Mm-hmm.
after this big thing. There's life after the grief. There's life after this big hurdle. It's life after you think, this is my forever dream. This is my happily ever after is taken away. And so I'm hoping that someone is able to hear this story and it gives them hope and it gives them encouragement and it lets them know, especially listeners of the show. Y'all see how goofy Nique is. Y'all hear her laugh, y'all hear her smile. They're smiling again at the other side of it.
Yeah.
So, guys, that's all we have for today's episode. We hope you liked and enjoyed. Be sure to follow us on She Wolf Alchemy on Instagram. Be sure to leave us a review and leave us a review with words. We will have a new episode for you guys next Sunday. Bye.
Right.